So hello everybody and everywhere, all times of the day. We have Europe, America, South Africa, Australia. Okay, wherever you are. So let's sit comfortably. Bring your back into vertical position. Fasten the safety belts. No, this is from another story, but it's okay. Okay. So feel yourself comfortable. And we do 9 breathings. You remember the way we do breathings is we do breathings in order to purify the breathing, not just to perform some kind of ritual, but check your breathing. Then we do 9 breathings and then we check if something changed or not. And if nothing changed, that maybe we did something wrong. Okay. So now we do Guru Yoga, and we remember that we do Guru Yoga from here, from our center. We feel our presence in our center, and we feel the vibration, we feel the sound. The important thing, we feel our presence here in the center. We manifest, our presence manifests as white R. Not manifest as on a screen that we are looking at, but we are manifesting white R in a sphere. And it does not mean that we are in a sphere. We are both white R and the sphere. This is our existence. Not like being in a cage or sphere. So we are continuing to talk about nothing, our favorite, our beloved nothing, emptiness, void, absence, non-existence. Yeah, that's a nice thing, yeah. Because it's a gate for liberation. We can feel free. When there is nothing, then we feel free. Also no problem. So, we try to do a Senzin first. And according to our capacities, we can do slightly different ways. So basically, it's like two different Senzins, but the meaning is the same. So we can look around or just sit, and we don't allow our mind to comment everything. We just decide, yeah. It's like when our hands are usually trembling, but then we start to control ourselves, and then okay, we can control. So our mind is always trembling, but just because we are distracted and we don't notice. You know that some people, they have a habit, or maybe we sometimes we do something like a key, yeah, and they don't notice they are doing it. And sometimes we do like this and we don't notice, but then we notice, okay, why the hell am I doing that? Screw it. So more or less the same way we do with our minds. Because our mind is like an instrument, yeah? It's an organ, but it's not only an organ of senses, but it's an organ in terms of like instrument. We are doing things with our mind. So the same, we notice it's conditional and we just stop it. Yeah? And then we stop and then we remain in this state, just controlling our mind. Yeah. Check how your mind is now. Is it excited or is it calm? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean there should be some specific state for your mind. You can be excited, yeah? Agitated. It also depends on how you slept and what you ate. Yeah. But it's important that we know the condition of our mind. Yeah. So we discover, and we notice that it's like commenting things, etc. And we try to not allow our mind to do so. And if it turns difficult, like for example, again, you're doing like this, then you see it, okay, stop it. Stop the hell doing this. No. Stop it, I said stop it. No. Okay, motherfucker, okay, sorry. We have to apply better control. And how do we apply better control? We concentrate on something. So whatever appears to your mind, like, okay, you see something, you concentrate for a moment on that, sharply. And then you hear a sound, and you concentrate sharply on a sound. And then you feel some itching, yeah? And then, okay, before scratching it, concentrate on that. And maybe you discover that your mind chatter is blocked for a moment. So this is another way. It's more energetic way. It requires more energy and effort. But if you cannot do it relaxed way, you know, it's like with children. If they don't understand with the word, then well, you are from the countries where you can apply nothing. But we still remember how it is, right? We still remember, we experienced that method on ourselves, yeah, and it did work, no? Sometimes, if not too much. So, so we do like this with our mind. So either we just control it, or maybe we need to constrain it to make some effort. So we try, and maybe we can try both. If you like, you can try both. You try the first one, which requires more capacities. It doesn't work, okay. Try the second one. And if you discover the second one works and you can remain for some time without commenting things, then try the first one again. Okay. Let's start with Guru Yoga and then we apply the method. Whatever appears to your perception, just concentrate sharply on it and block the mind's chattering. Before you feel tired, you can relax and just rest for a minute, and then you resume the practice. If you feel bored or tired, you can concentrate on that feeling. Don't try to be reserved inside, but be more open. Open eyes, open ears. You can move slightly, you can look around, feeling like a baby. So this is for the first type of senzen. Feeling like a baby which doesn't know which is which, with the freshness of perception. Then you can look at the things you know with a fresh eye. If you are touching something, notice the touch, the sensation of touch. If you're looking at something, be where you're looking at. You can alternate two methods. One with a strong control and one with a kind of a mild control. If you fail and think this is not a problem, just try once again.
Take a rest from time to time. Now relax and just rest in a comfortable position.
Okay. So how was your experience? Who would like to share? How was your mind? How was your energy? And how was your body reacting on this practice? Yeah, Phil, please.
Yeah, I found that a really useful exercise, alternating between the two methods. I discovered alternating between concentration on thoughts that were arising and just alternatively just relaxing in the presence of them. I discovered how much I tensed my body when I concentrated.
Yeah.
And so I started to experiment with concentration without tensing my body. And that was interesting because I'd never noticed that before. Just how much when I think, concentrate, I actually, there's some tension in my body. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, great. That's a good experience. Because when we concentrate, we do it with all of our body. That's the point. Why concentration is so tiring? As we do this concentration, we apply all our body. Sure. Good experience. Yeah, very, very, very useful. And then the other way around, when we feel we need to relax our minds, yeah, it means we should pay attention also to the body, how the body is, because it's all interconnected. Mind is tense and the body, of course, in the body and energy, everything is stressed. And if you have some kind of tension in our body, it reflects in our minds too and in our energy. Yeah, great. Okay, Tom.
Yes, hi. I began focusing on a doorknob, and the doorknob was shouting at me, doorknob, 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 I'm a doorknob. And it took me quite a while to relax this obsessive nature of our minds to label everything. The same thing happened with the chair over there. Just it's saying to me, chair, chair, chair. So I had to really focus to break that magic, that that constant objects naming themselves and entering our heads. And towards the second half, I tried to mix up the five senses. You know, would hear an aeroplane go past or a dog bark, and then I just tried to make that all part of a reflection, like reflective energy, and to reverse that sort of obsessive naming of things, and to a little degree, it was okay. I made it through it and found some lovely spaces.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because we are very tensed. And our mind is commenting. We have jokes, you know. We have still many politically incorrect jokes about like small nations, and in Russia, in the Soviet Union, there were so many different nations, and some nations from far north, they were particularly famous in jokes. And one of the features was just always commenting whatever is there. So, oh, I'm riding my deer or my dogs, and there is a snow to the right, there is a snow to the left. This is a kind of a song. Whatever I see, I sing it. Yeah. So, and of course we make jokes, but inside of us, there is this guy that is doing the same thing, always commenting, but we are educated. You know, we are educated. It means that we were hit. Shut up, you stupid. Shut up. Yeah. So we don't do shut up outwardly, but inwardly we are still that, you know, kind of primitive people. Primitive, not in terms of bad, but primitive, like in the anthropological sense. Yeah. And we have this chatter. Yeah. Okay. Who else would like to share? Yeah, please, Lucy.
Okay.
Ah, sorry. Okay. Make a sound.
Okay. For me at the beginning, it was like discovering any object around me, like brand new or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But later on, it was like the important thing was the space between things, the space. And suddenly, I don't know how does it come. I felt the space around me and behind me.
Good.
And it was like, it was a feeling that I never had in my life. It was like the space was alive.
Yeah. That's great, no?
Yes.
Yeah, it means these practices are something concrete when we don't apply them ritual way. Yeah. And okay, I can give you advice. When you discover
Okay.
this space and there is some object appearing to you, try to move your presence between yourself and an object and to discover if there is some border between you and object.
If there is some border between the object and myself, okay, I will do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down. Otherwise, I will.
No, you won't lose it.
Get it.
You can do it right now if you feel this space. And then, okay, you hear sound. Try to move
Yes.
your presence between yourself and the sound. Okay.
There is a tick tack of a watch, tick tack of a clock on the back.
Yeah. And check if it's inside or outside this sound. If it's separate from you or not.
Okay, two things happens at the same time. One thing says, of course, the noise is outside of me, but another thing says, where are the borders of my own self?
No, but these are just talks. You try to check. You try to see. These are two hypotheses, no?
Yeah.
So you check them, you test them. And it means that if it is outside, yeah, okay, which is more natural for us to see things as appearing outside. And then, okay, you put your presence on this thing and try to move your presence between yourself and this object. And check if you find where is the border, where you stop and the object starts. Try to do this shuttle movement of presence between the object, whatever object is there. With visual can be a little bit more difficult, but with sound is easier. Or with the sensation, bodily sensation. Within these alive space.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, good. Okay, very good. Anyone else? Yeah, Rosella, please.
First of all, today I am relaxed unusually, and with a good degree of energy and a light mood. And I started concentrating, and then I think for the first time in my life, I have faintly realized while doing the practice that not only thoughts, but the things I see, I hear, sensations, all kinds of sensation, and even my body movements, because I moved, because I needed to stretch, and I stretched, are within mind. Everything, what is mind? They are, and I was there, just experiences. I asked myself, what is the difference? From time to time, I would concentrate on breathing. So just do a breathing practice, the awareness of breathing, and then open awareness. And I noticed that, in fact, it was my mind that was not shifting between thoughts, but shifting between different sensations or movements or even thoughts. And then I allowed myself to think, fuck it. This is mind, and it's moving continuously.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, where is the decision maker? I always have this. Who is deciding to move, to concentrate? And it was funny. I enjoyed it. But really, you know, when someone studies Buddhism, you start learning that the object of mind are bodily sensations, and then feelings, perceptions, thoughts, and so on, so on, and so on. And it was true. It is true. It's something else out there or in there. It was interesting.
Yeah, great. You see interesting things happening. Yeah?
Interesting.
You know, there was one guy, maybe some of you heard of him. He lived about 1200 years ago, and his name was Padmasambhava. Yeah, so this guy was really cool, no? And he said that all things, all phenomena, they abide in mind. Everything abides in mind.
Funny.
Yeah. So whatever you look at, you discover it's still within mind. It's not just that we all ideas, but all phenomena, not just ideas. All things abide in mind. This is how we discover mind, the container of all things. And this is number one, he said. And then he said, but where the mind is, the mind abides in space. You try to find mind, okay, but you don't find anything but space, emptiness, no? Because phenomena, they don't disappear. When you're looking for mind, the phenomena, they don't disappear. They're still there. But if you try to find this mind, is something concrete, you just discover spaciousness. And then okay, but where is this space? Where does it abide? Where does the space abide? And then he said the space does not abide anywhere. It means we go totally beyond any kind of idea, totally beyond judgment. The space does not abide anywhere. It is not something that we should believe, a kind of axiom. No. It means that when we are looking for phenomena, we find mind, always. When we're looking for mind, we find space. And when we're looking for space, we find nothing. And this is the nature of mind. Okay, this was the way how Guru Padmasambhava was explaining that. And, I explain it in a little bit different way. Like, for example, where birds manifest, they manifest in the air. Yeah. This is the kind of medium for the birds, environment, where they abide, where they manifest. And the fish manifest in water. Yeah? This is a medium, environment for fish. And then also there are creatures like worms, yeah, that manifest, for example, in the earth. Well, or in the liver, yeah, that can also be. So this is their dimension. And in this context, where do thoughts manifest? We have thoughts, yeah? We constantly observe our thoughts. We are always noticing our thoughts, right? At this moment, you have thoughts, right? Do you? Everyone is normal, no? No great yogi here who does never have thoughts, no? So more or less we are normal people, we always have thoughts. They manifest and they disappear, rise and cease. Yeah? Okay, but where? Where all these thoughts manifest? So we need thoughts to discover where thoughts manifest. We cannot discover where thoughts manifest without thoughts, right? So thoughts can be useful. Finally, in our meditation practice, thoughts can be useful. So we shouldn't be ashamed that we have thoughts. After all these years of practice, we still have thoughts. But where do we have them? And then our mind is whispering, in our head. Yeah, you know, in our head, zombie. Yeah? So but where is this thought? That thoughts are in the head. The head and the brain, wherever. So then we see thoughts at the same time when we are not conditioned by a thought. We can discover the spaciousness around this thought. Yeah? The kind of distance between ourselves and the thoughts. So a spaciousness. This is famous Dharma Dhatu. So if you studied at least a little bit Abhidharma or just studied a little bit of Buddhism, this is a very famous word, Dharma Dhatu. And Dharma Dhatu is basically emptiness where everything manifests. This is the dimension of phenomena. In Tibetan, Choyin. So we call it Dharma Dhatu. It's like an emptiness, yeah? Empty space. But it is also called the ground. All ground. Kunshi or Alaya. So we discover that thoughts are manifesting in this dimension. Sometimes we can see them like waves arising from an ocean. or just a space where something is manifesting. So we can remain in this recognition of this space. Then whatever is arising is revealing the nature of this space. Without manifestations, we cannot recognize this space, no? It's not possible. When something is arising, and then immediately we recognize what is arising. It is arising in space, and is not different from the space. It's called wisdom, because whatever is arising now is wisdom. Why is it wisdom? Not because we changed something and now it's wisdom, but because now we can recognize that whatever is arising is showing this space, indivisibly. They say in Nano Yoga, they say the space and the dimension and wisdom. So we discover the dimension, and then we recognize that whatever is arising there is this dimension itself manifesting. To make it like more vivid, we can make an experiment and manifest, like saying human manifest Vajrasattva, for example, like empty form. Crystal, but crystal not hard rock crystal. Just transparent, our own shape, but transparent. If you make a sound, we can feel it everywhere, like we make sound. So when we do any kind of this visualization, what we call visualization, imagination, we manifest something. And where do we manifest it? In space. The problem is that when we are trying to do something, it's like we are creating something from nothing, becoming like a god from the Bible, who is very busy, needs to create the world in 6 days to finish before Shabbat, you know? Because if he doesn't finish creating the world before Shabbat, Rabbanut punishes him. So he's in a hurry, you know? Because Rabbanut is important, like chief rabbi is important. You cannot make bad relations, even you are God. Or with the Minister of Internal Affairs, yeah. So you're in a hurry, you're very busy, you're creating this. You rest from time to time, but still you have agenda. I have to create this, I have to create this whom, I have to create Vajrasattva, I have to create the whole mandala and get it ready before Saturday. Friday evening even, is the deadline. You can imagine, the life of God is very stressful. First, you have no time, no problem. You see, I mean, not no time like we don't have time for anything, but no time in general, does not exist, time. But then you create sun and moon and then time begins. And then you have no time, but the sense is different, you see? And then it puts you deadline. So we are trying to create all this imagination and they feel, oh, it is something real we create, but it's not real. We imagine something, whatever, it can be red triangle, whatever. It can be black square like Malevich, yeah? No problem, we can imagine anything. But when we're imagining, this occupies all our being. Oh, and particularly if we imagine some complicated things like Mandarava. Oh, I'm Mandarava, yeah, something like elegant, very elegant, yeah, feeling nicely, yeah. But where do we feel nicely? Where do we manifest Mandarava or Jnana Dakini or Tara, yeah? Or some Rethol, Guru Drakpo, whatever, yeah? Where do we manifest? We manifest whatever, but this shape that we manifest, where is it? Where does it manifest? Where is this dimension? So we manifest and we discover the dimension. And the simplest way to discover it is to do like spreading and absorbing light. Okay, spread light. And notice where you are spreading this light. Where this light is spread. And not giving an answer, but discovering you are spreading light, right? Right now, you can be spreading light. I'm talking to you, you're listening to me, and you're spreading light. So you spread light. You check. Where is it being spread? So we are spreading light, you discover the dimension where you're spreading light. Instead of being concentrating, oh, light is important. I need to spread light. Oh. So instead of being concentrating with that and occupied with that mainly, just relax a little bit and discover, but where the hell is this light? Where the hell am I spreading this light? I've been doing these practices for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 fucking years. I'm spreading this fucking light. Where the fuck am I spreading this light? Finally, we have to ask this question, no? And then we discover the dimension. And this dimension is empty. But whatever manifests is manifesting in this dimension. Or at least mental things are manifesting in this dimension. But then there is another explanation that I invented. Maybe some of you heard already. I made this joke a few times. How you split a fart into 5 parts. Do you know? Who doesn't? Who doesn't know? Oh, how comes you don't know? Okay. First, you fart. Yeah, then you have to split this fart into 5 parts. Yeah, you fart into a glove. You know, now everybody has gloves, you know, surgical. So you fart into a glove and then you split it into 5 parts. Yeah. That's it. You caught it. What does it say about mind? You see, in this glove, we have 5 fingers, yeah? And there is a central part. And they look like different parts. But the fart in all these parts is the same. So one finger is awareness of seeing. Another finger is awareness of hearing, awareness of smelling, awareness of tasting, awareness of touch, yeah, or here. And this part is awareness of thoughts, yeah, mental awareness. And they look different, no? But the fart inside is the same. So this is the same dimension. So we discover this dimension, and we can remain in this presence, maintaining this presence, and then doesn't matter if you have thoughts or not. Maybe thoughts manifest, maybe they don't manifest, but something is always manifesting. The point is that we are maintaining this the presence of this awareness. And then we need, you know, to put a cherry on this cake, yeah. But who is aware of all this? So we discover space, we discover awareness. But who is being aware of all this? We can have nice sensations, bad sensations, good smells, bad smells, like farts, you know? You know why the farts smell? So that deaf people could enjoy them too. But who is aware of all that? When we are laughing, yeah, and we feel joyous, who's aware of that? When you notice thoughts, okay, you have thoughts at the moment. But how do you see them? With what do you see them? Okay, I ask you the same question once again. Do you have thoughts? Yeah. How do you know? How do you know you have thoughts? You want to say something, Anne, please? Oh, but you need to turn on the microphone, otherwise I cannot hear what you're saying. Sorry. The technique isn't perfect yet.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yes, because there is a presence who knows that I have south.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is presence, but I feel this presence. I feel this presence among the space.
Yeah. Space and presence, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. That's what Bolsheviks, not Bolsheviks, Buddhists have been talking about all the time. Space and presence, are they different?
No. No. I don't know. I think that they are not different.
You think or you don't think doesn't matter.
No, I feel. I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think. I feel.
Yeah.
It is the same space.
Yeah. And what you see, is it the same space or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Try
Yes.
to look at your palms, at your hands. Look at your hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the same space.
Same, no? Very strange. Very strange. Like a magic a little bit, no? So we have thoughts and we discover the space where they abide, all these thoughts. Awareness. And then we look at things and it's, well, it's still that dimension. I think I told you last time, yeah? We have some dots in our eyes, no? We have some dots and they look more or less like distance, like a stretched arm, yes, or maybe a little bit more. We can have these dots. But then we try to move between these dots or these floaters and our eyes. They look bigger distance, yeah? At least one arm, yeah? A couple of feet away, 1 meter, or maybe 1.5 meters away, or maybe closer. And we know our hand is 5 centimeters away. And we do like this, yeah? But we still see those things, no? So the hand does not obstruct these floaters or these dots, no? But we see things as outside. Okay, let Peter ask something, and then I tell you a terrible story, if I don't forget. Okay, Peter, please.
Okay, hi. It's very interesting that I observing myself from a few months, and I see what I practicing. I see that everything is melting. Now I very feel that everything is melting, and I see this visual snow or something like that. and not separately nothing. But what I want to say is very interesting. Sometime I'm sitting in the garden or I'm walking, and spontaneously I'm going to the state without guru yoga, without something,
Yeah,
just spontaneously. And everything is each other, not separately. And I'm wondering how, who, and there is no answer, and there is the every answer. It's amazing how going spontaneously, not just like I sitting or I'm doing practice. I'm not planning that. I'm just going, and
yeah,
suddenly, whoa. And it's very interesting because it's before not was.
yeah. Good. It's called self-arising. That's why it's called self-arising. Self-arising Rigpa, self-arising awareness. You cannot make it arise. We are not trying to do practices in order to make it arise. This is our big problem when we are trying to make it arise. And then we do all practices and this and that, etc. Say, Rigpa, arise. I'm doing but it's like already. Yeah. Make
But
it
you know,
arise.
Igor, sometimes I'm very exciting with this. Oh,
Yeah, sure.
you feel that, and after it's very hard to remain it because I feel a lot of energy, very lot of energy.
Yeah, you just observe.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you want to cancel it because it's becoming too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much enlightenment. Yeah, it's terrible. We should be moderate, yeah, with our enlightenment. Just keep a little bit for our own consumption.
Yeah, it's true.
I tell a joke. It's not the politically correct jokes in the Soviet Union or Russia was telling it about Ukrainians because of some characteristics. All nations have characteristics. So Ukrainians or the Soviet Union is collapsing, and the Ukrainian guy goes abroad for the first time in his life. And then before they tell him, but do you know there is a custom on the border? No, I don't know. What is that? They check what you are bringing. If you are bringing money, if you are bringing some goods and something, drugs or whatever, and they check if you are not taking anything illegal, like weapon, too much money, whatever. So you have to declare on customs what you are bringing with you. So you should be ready. Don't play tricks with those guys. Yeah, they are serious. Okay, so he's crossing the border for the first time in his life, and he's crossing, and they're asking, do you have money? And he says, oh yeah, I have, here is my little money. And do you have like some jewelry? No jewelry. Weapon? No weapon. Drugs? No drugs. No, nothing. And then it is, late 80s. Yeah. And say, do you have AIDS? You remember, like 30 years ago, they were asking people if they have AIDS or not for allowing entering the country. They asking him, do you have AIDS? And the guy doesn't know what AIDS is. And he's thinking, well, I have a problem. If I say that I have it, maybe it's not a good thing and they will punish me. But maybe it is something good and I'm supposed to have it. And if I don't have it, then they don't let me in or just start mockery with me, yeah? That I don't have it. And he's thinking, and then he's answering, yeah, I have, but just a little bit and just for myself. So this kind of enlightenment, just a little bit and just for myself, not too much. Okay, good, good. Very good. You see, interesting things happening. Yeah. When we are relaxed, when we don't feel we are doing important things and we are just experimenting with our state and doing something, and then something manifests. Yeah. Must be relaxed. That's important. Because, you know, when there is some high lama with the head and you feel, oh, this is very important, and you feel very low, and then you feel you can be judged. Yeah, we can relax, we can laugh, we can fart, you know. I tell you a story, a terrible story, you know. It's like coming out, frankly, a little bit like that. I think it was like maybe 15 years ago, and I was traveling with retreats across Russia in wintertime, and I got sick. I didn't feel well. And I was in one city in Ural Mountains, so this is more or less almost the border between Europe and Asia. And it's a winter and cold place, etc. And they took me to a doctor to check me, to do ultrasound everywhere. So they checked ultrasound everywhere, and the doctor was very good doctor, you know. He was PhD in medicine, and his specialty was ultrasound, you know. So he was like not just physician, but also a physicist. You know? So he really knew how this ultrasound works, etc. Very good doctor. Yeah. And he checked everything in general. He said, oh, you have the problem here and there, etc., but not big. And then he said, but we need also to check your prostate. Okay. So I was already something like 37. Maybe it was a good time to check prostate. Then how they check prostate? You cannot just check prostate. They have some special device, something like this, but bigger. Well, like a dildo, basically, but not a big one. And then they put a condom on that. I don't know why, but to make it, maybe they did not have a cleaner or something, but they told me you come with a condom for this test. And then I brought a condom, and they put a condom on this stick. Of course, I understand where they have to put it to check my prostate. I know anatomy a little bit. And then I am lying down on my side, and then I'm asking and say, doctor, please be gentle with me because you are my first one. And he was laughing. He was a very good doctor with a good sense of humor. So he was laughing. Already his hands were trembling a little bit because he was laughing. Yeah. And he told me, he was warning me, he said, when I'm putting these things, inserting this thing into you, you will feel, but he was very educated, very polite man, you know, well-behaved man, said, you would feel as if you were, and then I had an idea and I said, shit. I said, yes, you formulated it very precisely. So, I don't know why I had this idea, but somehow I got it. And then, of course, he's putting this thing into my asshole, into my rectum. He's inserting this thing, and I feel like I'm shitting. I know I am not shitting. I know what is going on mechanically. He's putting the thing in, but what I feel is the things are coming out. That's what I said. This is about coming out. Yeah. So my mind knows that it is entering in, but my body tells me that something is coming out of my rectum. You see, this is like discrepancy, contradiction. And at this point, I realized, spontaneously realized, that whatever we feel is just interpretation of our minds. And this kind of insight, it was, you know, like it was maintained spontaneously for 2 weeks. I was in this state of like everything is just my mind. No. And you're walking, you're stepping on your foot and you feel this is your mind. You're stepping on your mind. You're touching something, you see something. It doesn't mean I recommend this method for everyone. No. I'm not sure if it works for you. I know some people who try these kind of things from time to time, but it doesn't seem it helps very much them. Yeah, I mean, they can help them to live the life they like. That's okay, but I don't mean they get enlightened because of that.
How was your prostate?
My prostate was very good, yeah. Still is. So they didn't find anything in my prostate, but I discovered something. But you see, this is not something that remains with you all the time. You lose the freshness of this experience after some time. But it's very interesting, and then it is spontaneous, and then your perception is very different. And discover this. Then you become like ordinary way. Then even you stick something up your ass, then it doesn't really work again. I didn't try it though. Maybe I should have. Okay. Maybe it was a wrong guess. I never tried again. Maybe I'm becoming older and my hormonal levels are different. Who knows what happens in future? But so you see, things come spontaneously. Because when we expect things to happen, it's very difficult for things to happen. Yeah. But spontaneously, it can work better. You remember all these stories about Tilopa and Naropa? Some non-formal situations. Because when we are struggling for enlightenment, nothing happens basically. Just getting tired and frustrated. So I told you my innermost secret. You know, in Russia, we have an expression in Russian language when things are not done properly. We say that things are done or made through an asshole. I don't know if you have this expression in your languages, but it's not done by hands. It's done through an asshole. Yeah. It's done in weird way, not proper way, etc. Yeah, I know. Jokes about asshole and shit always make people happy. Yeah, always. Okay. Does anyone else want to come out? Okay, then we do Guru Yoga. We apply the method, so we relax, we sit comfortably. We are not doing anything important. Saying "ah" is not important, no? We are saying "ah" many times a day. Also, imagining white eye is not also important. But we try to manifest our presence as a white eye in the center of our existence, connecting with our body through the sound. And then we relax, we rest, take a vacation. Have some leisure. Leisure, yeah. And enjoy. If you are losing the presence, we can do this Guru Yoga once again. And when we do Guru Yoga, we are recognizing all that. It means we are reconnecting. So when we lose freshness of our knowledge, then we apply the method of Guru Yoga to refresh it, not just to perform some ritual act, but to reconnect, to feel, to recognize. This is literally recognize, to cognize again, reconnect, connect again. So this is not an act of magic or ritual, but this is the method for being again in our true nature. Okay, so now let us have a break for 10 minutes. Now it's like 11 minutes or 10 minutes to something. And then when there is an hour, in 10 or 11 minutes, we come back and we continue. And try to maintain this presence during this break. Yeah. Integrating with the stepping inside the mind, moving inside the mind, pissing or drinking coffee inside the mind. In this space, in this dimension. Okay. Enjoy your Dharmadato. So we continue. And we continue with the Guru Yoga again. Okay. So in general, whatever experience we have, it can be some physical experience, or we can experience some like luminosity or clarity. It can be just emptiness, like calm state. So whatever experience we have, then the question is always, who is experiencing this? Who is in this state? And if we are beyond judgment, if we are, particularly when we are beyond the judgmental mind and thinking, and there is no idea who we are, with all our past, with all our narrative, with all our attitude about feeling important, non-important, then just plainly or like nakedly, who is experiencing that? It is not something which is unique only for Dzogchen teaching. No, of course not. In Lankavatara Sutra, which basically creates a kind of a theory for all these things, provides a theory for all these things, there is an expression which is called paravrita. If you did yoga, you could, if you did, I mean, hatha yoga, maybe you heard this parivrita trikonasana, something like this, but this is not that. This is not like twisted position or something like this, not parivrita, paravrita. And paravrita means a kind of a turn, like a U-turn. And what is making a U-turn? The mind. So the mind is making a turn to look at oneself. This is the key point. And mind not finding mind, that's the best discovery. Then we go beyond mind, then we can discover the nature of mind. I mean, we can discover the Sutra way, but in Sutra way, we just remain with this emptiness. In Dzogchen, we don't remain with emptiness, we also integrate. Because we have a kadak, emptiness like kadak, or alpha purity, primordial purity. And we also have a self-perfected or self-established manifestations of Lundrup, which means ourselves. We don't remain indifferent to all phenomena that manifest in this Dharma Dhatu, but we discover that Dharma Dhatu itself is manifesting as all these phenomena and is awareness. Now, why we are saying Kadak al Hundrup, I think I was explaining this already, but I explain once again. Because it's not just coming from nowhere. All terms that we are using in Dzogchen teaching, they're coming from the context. And the context is Buddhist. I don't really know how it was happening for Bonpo Dzogchen, what kind of context was there. I don't really know. It can be different. But in Buddhism, we have an idea of enlightenment, like purifying all obscurations and developing all qualities. This is our idea. And this is a hard job. You look at yourselves, no? We are looking at ourselves. How many obscurations we have, huh? How many confusions? How often we are conditioned by our emotions? It's a hard job, yeah, to purify all that. And then it's Sisyphus, yeah, how you call it in English. Sisyphus was, yeah, this from Greek mythology. The guy who was rolling a big stone uphill always. Sisyphean labor, Sisyphean work. I don't really know how you pronounce this in English, but you understand what's that. He was rolling it uphill. It was his personal hell, yeah?
Sisyphus.
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 Okay. Sisyphus. So, yeah. And he was rolling this big tigle, big monolith tigle. He was rolling it uphill. You know, we are like, one of my friends has a saying. He says, we are hatching an egg of enlightenment. Like we are sitting like a hen and we are hatching an egg of enlightenment. But for some people, it's not just sitting and hatching, but also rolling it uphill, a big egg of enlightenment. And then one moment you get distracted and it rolls back down into the valley. Well, we all have this experience, no? We had an experience of like peak experience and then, aha! Or we are just rolling it back, not even rolling it uphill, not even having this peak experience. Yeah. So this is a very hard work to purify all our obscurations and confusions, etc. They are too many, and they are too overwhelming. And then we need to develop all qualities. Yeah. And what are these qualities? Like compassion. Oh, Madonna, no, compassion. How can we develop this? We look at ourselves and we know how far we are from that, no? Sometimes maybe we can manifest some compassion and give some milk to a cat, no? We can manifest something, but occasionally, see? Or wisdom, yeah, quality of wisdom. Mamma mia, no? We are doing so many stupid things in our lives. Yeah. And then other qualities, you know, like patience. Whew. Not easy, no? What else? Generosity. Yeah, we can give something, but okay, then we still have to keep something for ourselves. Huh? So it's not easy to manifest all these bodhisattva qualities like generosity and patience and morality and perseverance or diligence, yeah. And then meditative stability and wisdom, all these parameters of bodhisattvas. No, it's very difficult to manifest all of them. Yeah? It takes a lot of time. And then again, we get distracted for a single moment and all this goes to hell as if it never existed, right? Just some of our close relatives, like our like partner or like spouse or mother or father, just we meet and they tell us something and we explode immediately, as if all like 30 years of our Buddhist practice never existed, right? Where are all these? And then they say, but you are Buddhist, you are not fucking supposed to feel angry and talk like that. It's not easy to purify all obscurations and to develop all qualities. One life is definitely not enough. And then next life, and we are starting like, well, sometimes I have a feeling we are starting from the scratch. Yeah. I don't really know. I cannot judge. I don't rely very much upon this theory of reincarnations, but even in this lifetime, you have to start from the scratch for so many times. And then you compare yourself to all these ideals of bodhisattva, great yogis, etc. And then you feel like shit, no? We should understand that what we read in the books is a mythology, is a legend, is not real life, is a legend. It's like a Hollywood movies. Because all these legends, they are meant to inspire. Yeah. Sometimes we can read real biographies, and then we can discover that these people felt desperate. Yeah. Many times in their lives, they felt desperate, or they wanted to stop all of this, to screw all this practice because it didn't work. Huh? Then we have some nice stories about enlightenment. But when we compare, it becomes very difficult. Oh, well, I'm a simple person. Maybe when I was young, I thought I was a kind of a superhuman, but now, after so many years of life, then the reality manifests just normal in terms of ordinary. Yeah. So it's very difficult. And the only way to cope, to deal with all that, is just to go beyond all that. And Dzogchen is a kind of a back door, you know, just going beyond. Because one life is too little, too short to do all that job. Yeah. Very difficult. So we go beyond. And Kadak means that we discover that our state is like a space. Of course, space contains many things, no? It contains stars, it contains planets, it contains oceans, it contains shit. Yeah, it contains everything, no? But it's not a heavy burden for this space, no? To contain all that. The space is empty, primordially empty from the beginning. And then we discover our real state is like this, is like space, empty space. And then there is no more issue of purifying this or purifying that. Because everything is already pure. The space is already pure. And then we discover that all these manifestations are not different from space, are made of space. No? Like statue of Buddha and peace pot. You remember Rinpoche, when he was explaining and giving this example, he was always saying ashtray. Yeah? He was saying that we can use gold to make a statue of Buddha and then make an ashtray for something dirty. But original is a peace pot, not ashtray. No. So maybe he discovered, because, you know, Rinpoche came to Italy when it was already more or less civilized time. I'm not sure if in 60s people were, but probably still using peace pots in Italy in 60s, no? I was a kid, I was using, definitely, not in Italy, in the Soviet Union. But maybe he saw that everyone is using, you know, toilets, normal toilets with flashing water. Maybe people don't know what is a peace pot anymore. But it said peace pot, something dirty. Or statue of Buddha, something very beautiful. But from the same gold. From the same gold. You know, there was a story about one Jewish guy who was a kind of underground millionaire in the Soviet Union. He was doing some illegal business and he was making money, and they could not catch him. KGB and police, they could not catch him. but they knew he was going to immigrate to Israel. It was very difficult in that time. You needed all permissions and you couldn't take any values with you. You couldn't take any valuable things. Maybe they allow you to get something, something like clothes, yeah, for wearing. Some books you were allowed, but you couldn't take like jewelry, or of course you were not allowed to get dollars or something like this. Currency was not allowed. And then finally he came to the customs. When he was leaving, he finally received a permission to to leave the Soviet Union and to move to Israel. And they were looking and looking, and they knew he had money. They knew he had money. But there was no money. There was no jewelry, nothing like coins or whatever. Nothing. Just things in a box, in the wooden container. And then they had to let him go. And he went to Israel. And then many years later, he met some guys from KGB when it was already relevant. And he asked him, but we knew you took out somehow you took out your money, took it out from the country, but how did you manage that? He said, okay, nails in that container, nails. They were made of platinum. So he made a wooden container and he nailed it with platinum nails. So you see, a trick. So it means that everything is made of the same material. It looks maybe not important, yeah, but it's made of the same material, of gold or something precious. Yeah? So what we are aware of, it's inside. No? It's all inside. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we feel, it's all inside. It's all us. It's not something separate. It's all us. Whatever we see a glass, for example. Yeah, it's us. What we see. I don't say glass is us, but what we see as a glass is us, is ourselves, is our own energy. And we hear the sound. When we're in a dualistic mind, okay, you're looking at me now, you see me on the screen, yeah, and you see my lips are moving. You know, there is an American joke, how you tell that lawyers are telling lies, their lips moving. So you see my lips are moving, yeah, and I'm making a sound. And how do you feel from where this sound is coming? When you look at me, at your screen, you feel like it's coming from my lips, no? But evidently it's not like that, no? Absolutely, it's not. It has nothing to do with my lips. You don't have a loudspeaker in the middle of your screen. No? But our mind, it makes it coming from my lips. No? No. This is an illusion. But in real sense, the sound is not even coming from a loudspeakers, yeah? But the sound is something inside us, yeah? We feel it inside us, inside ourselves. So what we experience as a sound is ourselves. Now making any sound will do, doesn't matter. It's ourselves, you know? Let's use the language of neurophysiology, okay? When we see enlightened being, like a teacher, like Chogyal Namkhai Norbu, when we see Chogyal Namkhai Norbu, what we really see? Our neural activity. And then we see, I don't know, piece of shit. a cockroach. But what is that? What we see and what we hear? Our neural activity, no? It's still our neural activity, what we perceive. We see the Buddha or we see a cockroach. What we see is our neural activity is the same. But our mind is making it different. No? It's like your mind is making you seeing the sound coming from my lips, from the center of your screen. Even though technically you know that it's coming from the sides, but we don't see like this. Because our mind is strong. So, but whatever we see, whatever we feel, is ourselves. Who is experiencing all this? And then we don't find anyone. But this no one that we discover is not different from what we see, because what we see, what we hear does not disappear. So these are manifestations. If there is a light, then something manifests. There is a sound, another thing manifests. So it means there are secondary causes. I am talking, you hear. So when I'm talking, this becomes a secondary cause for you to experience the sound. But the sound you experience is yourselves, is not me. I'm making some movement, and this movement reflects in your perception. But this movement, the movement that I'm making is a secondary cause for the changes in your perception. But what you perceive is you, is yourselves. And it manifests. And also we manifest, like Peter was saying, like all of a sudden nothing, he is doing nothing, and then something manifests spontaneously. Yeah. According to secondary causes, this thing or that thing can manifest. But it's always made from the same material. Yeah. And this material we call Vajra. In Vajrayana, we call this material Vajra, or bodhicitta, Vajra bodhicitta sometimes. So this is our potentiality, our energy. And from this potentiality can manifest everything, three-dimensional. And if you feel great compassion, sometimes you feel, I feel so much compassion to the whole world, to this being, to that being, and in general, I feel such a bodhisattva. I feel, this is a good experience. But another time we feel like shit. Yeah. We feel angry and we feel irritated. Yeah. We feel upset. I feel, well, this is not an enlightened experience. Yeah. But the point is that it's made of the same material, both. Great compassion is made from the same material as anger. Yeah. And maybe you experience light sometimes, and sometimes you experience fogginess. But they're both made from the same material, the same potentiality. So what we need to recognize is this principle. What we need is not some specific experience that we are supposed to always have with some characteristics. No. But being in the knowledge of who is experiencing that and finding no one, but at the same time being not different from what we experience, not being in the duality of subject and object. So this is the point. This is the essence. And Guru Yoga is a method how we can reconnect, because it gives an example how it is. Who is doing Guru Yoga? To whom this white eye is manifesting? The empty space where it's manifesting. But there is a manifestation and someone is experiencing this manifestation. And this manifestation is not different from the one who is experiencing this manifestation. So let's try once again, applying the method of Guru Yoga. Okay. Anyone wants to say something? Share your experience? Share your experience about this U-turn, about this paravrita of turning mind to itself. Or whatever. This is our final session in this course. Yeah, Alvaro, please. Please turn. Yeah, I can hear you. Alvaro, I cannot hear you. Your sound shows on, but I cannot hear you. Something's cracking, but I'm not sure if that's you. No? Well, okay. La vita è così. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Lucy, you want to say something?
Yes, even though in the way that we are using the U-turn, there is like a kind of duality, the one that is observing and the thing that is observed. And in what moment it just dissolves.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point. Because in real sense, there is nothing is turning. But this is like we are catching our mind with this idea of turning, and then it dissolves by itself, and we don't find anything. And this is the best finding. Yeah, we just remain in that. And this is an emptiness, yeah? And this is a state of liberation.
And why our mind has this compulsion and to continuously define everything like me and the other things in the world.
Because it's trying to survive.
Yes.
Because mind is the instrument, the main function of mind is to make us survive in this world. And for surviving, everything must be clear. Everything must be definite and predictable.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we have subject and object. And object can be a threat, can be food, can be a mate.
So in that sense, there is like a kind of resistance to dissolve our own selves.
Yeah, we resist because our mind feels a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Because our mind is trying to find a support everywhere. It's like our body is always trying to find a support. No?
Mm-hmm.
When we are walking on the street, when we lose a support, we feel stress. No, we feel danger. Because we can fall down and we can break something. Yeah.
Mm.
Like when we are on ice, for example, or when we just falling in somewhere. Yeah. And our mind is trying to find some support and to define things. But to define oneself, we can only in relation to others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's only in relation to others. And then, okay, let's try to look at oneself. And then the mind stumbles. And then we can discover our, what sometimes they call it true self, etc. But true self, we can say true self or big self with the big S, whatever, but there can be a different thing. This self can be separated from everything else. A kind of a witnessing idea. As one person is calling that witness protection program. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we find. Oh, I'm here. I'm separated from everything. Nothing bothers me. Nothing disturbs me. Good or bad things are the same. But it's like being in the crystal cage. Yeah, crystal bubble, a crystal cage. You cannot go out.
Mm.
You are confined in that crystal cage. Everything is transparent. You can clearly see everything. Yes. And nothing penetrates inside. But this is not the Dzogchen way. This is what, when we, in Buddhism, when the idea of Atman is criticized, this is exactly this idea of Atman which is criticized in Buddhism.
Mm.
But in Dzogchen we say Maha Atman, total Atman. It means the same Atman but without this cage, without these walls, crystal walls, but being integrated. Not Atman which is separate from everything, but Maha Atman, that total Atman that includes everything. And then there is no border, then there is no wall. Yeah. And then there is no cage, because any kind of cage is still inside. And we are not limited to that cage. We are not confined within that cage. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Very clear and profound. Thank you.
Okay. Dimitri, please.
Am I here? Ah, yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay, but my question is not clear. Also, I wanted to say thank you very much. You gave me like more oxygen, something like this.
Good. Even though it was about farts, but they still contain
yeah, exactly.
oxygen. Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually I like when you are more serious. Maybe I was Swiss German in past lives. I don't know. But what maybe same question, but you actually helped to me already. But I still have same question. What is by observing all this, I'm kind of tired of all this surviving, you know. So that kind of contradiction. Contradiction is that when I discovered these things, so I have relaxed first, then kind of feeling that I have to do something with this.
Yeah.
And then third one, that I actually tired to survive.
Yeah, of course, because then you get distracted. And when you get distracted, it's like losing balance, and then you are afraid. And then you start struggling for survival. It's explained very clearly in this invocation of Samantabhadra, that we get distracted and then our mind starts to panic. And then we fight for our survival because we feel a threat. We fall into dualistic vision and we feel a threat, and even though it's not clear which kind of threat it is, but we are in panic.
Yeah, some kind of anxiety.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but then you discover, okay, panic. Not a big deal, panic. Who is experiencing this panic? Who is experiencing this anxiety?
Just anxiety.
Yeah, the same. The same. Who is experiencing the headache or anxiety? No difference. It's still the same fart in different fingers. Yeah.
I think that what I want to work on, that to see beauty in it, you know, but it's not difficult, not so easy. It's difficult.
If you're trying to see the beauty, then it's not so easy. When you are trying to see the beauty, but beauty, I mean, it's not the beauty which is opposite to ugliness. It's a beauty in a very Italian sense of the word, beatitudine. Both beauty and pleasure all together in one package. And if you're relaxed, you can experience this pleasure. Like we did this trick with the pen. I don't remember because I'm doing so many courses that I don't remember where I'm telling what. Yeah, when we are trying to touch with a pen or pencil, we are trying to touch the computer, the deck, the resonator, and we feel the sound with our hand. Not only with our ears, but we feel the vibration with our hand. And then we discover it's pleasant, no?
Yeah, I discovered vibration, but I didn't discover that it's pleasant. It's just something.
Yeah, you observe, then you notice that there is some pleasure, some inherent pleasure in this sensation, not in the vibration, but in what you feel. So don't be concentrated on vibration, which is coming into your body, but observe how your body resonates. Yeah. And then this beauty is just the first moment of freshness, contacting things. When you see things, when you hear, then we can discover this inherent quality of, we can say beauty, but beauty is more visual and audio. But beauty in the sense of pleasant feeling, pleasant sensation. It can be still pain, no? But the very fact of perceiving this sensation is pleasant. So can be pain, can be pleasure, but this is a relative level. But the very act of perceiving pleasure and pain is blissful. And this is going beyond. Because it's the same receptors working the same way. And it's a kind of visual contact. As long as it's not traumatic, but even if you have high level of realization, if it is a traumatic experience, like cutting a hand, still can be blissful. Yeah, still has this potential of being blissful. So we notice when we relax and we are not fighting for our lives, if we are not fighting for our survival, we can discover the pleasantness of our existence. But then we get distracted and then it's all gone. Yeah. But what we do? Again, we do Guru Yoga. And when you do Guru Yoga, when we do do you feel pleasant sensation?
About Guru Yoga also, I came to state normally through that awareness more than I really trying all the time when I do Guru Yoga through but this method it doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
I think that because you're not connected to your body and do things mostly mentally. So when you do Guru Yoga, try to feel the vibration in all of your body, all over your body, even in your toes, your fingers and your toes, everywhere. And then you can notice, maybe you try when you're just saying something, notice the same thing. Try to connect to the body, because it is the body that feels pleasure. Mind is judging whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Mind is judging. But what feels is the body. So connect your practice to the body more. Experience your body. Don't remain on the mental level and disconnected from that.
Through observing sensations?
Yes, observing sensations, but not just observing them dualistically. Like when you are saying, you're talking to me now, you're making some sound. Do you hear the sound of your own voice when you're talking to me?
Yes, sure. I feel kind of vibration in the body.
Yes, Notice this vibration. It is pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll try. Thank you.
You are now laughing. Do you feel something?
Yes, yes. The body has a lot of feelings.
Yeah. Continue talking. Continue talking now. Continue talking and observe at the same time.
So I have a lot of vibrations everywhere in the body, in the spine, and the legs,
Yeah.
and yeah, in the chest, everywhere.
Yeah. Is it a nice feeling?
I don't know. It's just there.
Okay. Check. You absorb into these sensations. Don't observe them from here to there, but be where you feel it. So when you do Guru Yoga, try to feel your presence here, not to feel this vibration from here to here, but to feel it from here to here with the body.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see Lena. First, then May, then you next.
Me?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
So actually, I wanted to thank you a lot for this course. I think it is really useful. As I can see and judge, just observing the faces for everybody. And for me, it is really a kind of, reminding of the things I've heard many times. But when you can be in the freshness of pursuing the words, it is always like something new. And what I've noticed just doing the last exercise is how strong this tendency to, to perceive things in dualistic ways is, and how easy it may be dissolved. So this is, thank you, a lot of thanks.
It is.
I hope to continue after New Year.
Yeah, so it is so simple. We cannot believe it is so simple.
And also, what I'm noticing, it is much more easy to deal not only with my own emotions, but with the emotions of people all around me. As long as I practice, the capacity is growing. So it is really nice.
Good, good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mai, please, now you.
I want to thank you as well. I was quite surprised that this is my first time to have the course with you. So I find that you can quite easily get me into some quite profound experience I had in the retreat. It was quite surprising in very short session, and to be able to reach that. And but today was something you said that really touched me, is this story talking about the Sisyphus. We were in our practice, we had, it's not, just like you said, it's not difficult to do this U-turn. We can have a big experience sometimes, but somehow I find it just so difficult to integrate to life, because the more you get into emptiness, the more this kind of disorientation you feel. So it's for quite a long period, kind of, you really couldn't find where is your feet, where you're really standing. And so that is not very encouraging to, how to moving forward. And then plus the business of the life, you have to distract it to do many things. You can have the good experience about just experience anything, being nobody. But then you have to jumping up if somebody calling your name. You have to say, yeah, I'm here. Yeah. So, yes, so I just find it's really difficult to really integrate these two states, to really say, okay, I have no doubt. Because I think my current state is, I have a lot of claims, but at the same time, I have a lot of doubts. And I couldn't really almost persuade myself enough, say that is something worth spend a lot of time to do. It's worth some direction to you know, to going, especially when life gets busy, you know, to really make it a priority, to be able to do that. So my question is, you know, how to being able to maneuver in this kind of modern life to integrate all this, you know, U-turn experience into life, and also to know, because for me, samsara and nirvana really, you know, it's just a myth. Samsara is just a myth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not real, but nirvana is not real either. You know, in a way, it's just different experience of the mind. In a way, could see that. Anyhow, that's kind of my experience. I couldn't say what experience of emptiness, just more choose and experience the experience. In a way, that is my experience. So sometimes my mind got a little bit confused and caught up in this whole thing, and to really have the confidence and you know, to the second statement to have the totally confidence, and then gradually to move into self-liberation. It's just feels quite not easy to be able to moving forward on this part.
Yeah, I understand very well what you're saying. And first of all, about hesitations and doubts, this is just a state of mind. What is that which is experiencing doubt? Mind, no? So you check, when you are in doubt, you check who is experiencing the doubt. And then you discover that doubt is just a state of mind. It's like a tiny oscillation, you know? And then you observe your energy, and you can discover that when you are in doubt, your energy is oscillating. It's not stable, yeah? But then you just discover who is experiencing this doubt. Treat the doubt as an experience. Treat the doubt not like a forking point, you know? Like you have to make a decision and judge your life and evaluate your life. And then you go into the whole narrative of your life from your past till your death, yeah? And then you have a doubt. But treat the doubt as such, as an experience, and this is a strong experience. Just notice this doubt, okay? And don't let this doubt make you make decisions, because this is the problem. The doubt is trying to push you to choose and to make a decision. And this means being conditioned by a doubt. So the doubt itself is not the problem. The doubt as such is an experience. Just something happens to our energy when we feel doubt. It means like our energy is like trembling, like oscillating somewhere. Yeah. And we need to take a side to stop this oscillation because it's not pleasant. We feel that it's not very pleasant. Doubt in general is not a very pleasant feeling. Yeah. But this means being conditioned by a doubt. And instead, you treat the doubt as an experience. And you observe how it reflects in your body, how it reflects in your energy, what mind is telling you about all this. Then you discover doubt, okay, this is just an experience.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. I think I lost the perspective, you know. And when you say that, it was so funny, you know. We just so much believing our mind, our thoughts, you know. So easy just to buy into it.
Yeah.
It's sometimes even when I look at my mind, I was trying to find the source. I couldn't really find it. I don't really understand how the imputation come from. Where I come from, I get all this idea. I couldn't really find them.
Yeah, but you cannot find anything, and this non-finding, you remain, but just you go to the other side, and then you are in doubt. Did you find, or did you find, or you did not find? I mean, just remain in this non-finding, And it's exactly the same state of a doubt in real sense, because it's like you're losing the support. It's a state of no support, but then when you lose support, we feel we are falling down, but we can treat it another way, like flying, yeah.
So would you say that, because I think one of difficulties I find it difficult to bring the experience. I mean, I definitely feel more settled, you know, to do this Dzogchen meditation or whatever, you know. But apart from that, I didn't really feel I can bring much benefit into the daily life. You know, it's a kind of integration is something I'm a little bit struggling with, basically.
Yeah. For integration is not easy, and there are several tools for integration. And for example, one tool of integration can be working with emotions and discovering emotions. And doubt is kind of an emotion, is an emotional state. Doubt, it's like a kind of very active ignorance, the doubt. Usually ignorance is like something very passive, but ignorance can be also very active, and ignorance can manifest as doubt. It can manifest as stubbornness, like being very stubborn. It's also ignorance, but it is very active, you know, yeah. It's very difficult to deal with stubbornness, both in ourselves and in others, particularly in others, yeah. So dealing with emotions and like provoking emotions and recognizing emotions and then learning how to integrate with emotions, this is like one key to integrate. And another key is with the sensations, like similar to what we did in the beginning of this session. This morning we did, I don't know if it's morning for you or not, but anyway, in the beginning of this today's session, we did like concentrating sharply on different experiences. And it helps to integrate. And you just observe, like you're touching something, you notice that. Yeah, you put your foot on something, you notice that sensation. You hear the sound and you notice that. You see the light flash and you notice that. And this is all like experiences. And these experiences, they can all these experiences, they wake you up. It's like you sleep and then a strong sound, a strong light, and you wake up, a strong touch, and you wake up. And we are getting distracted. It's like falling asleep. And then everything wakes us up. But not in a stressful way, like we are waking up in the night when something wakes us up. Like we slide into this obscurity. We have experience, but then immediately we start sliding into obscurity and oblivion. Yeah, we still feel, oh, I still have this experience, but we don't. We have just a kind of a replica that our mind is telling, that is it. This is like peak experience, but it's no longer there. It's already becoming like a replica immediately made by our mind. But then there is a sound, and the sound wakes us up. The light wakes us up. Yeah. So this way, it can also be integration. And another things of integration, like fochojags, is a good way. Like it's like I don't know if in your childhood there was this game when you freeze.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, you're doing something and then you freeze. So it's a little bit like this, but here you don't literally freeze. But for example, you are sitting, okay, and you recognize how you are sitting. But it can also be walking. It can also be talking. Like, for example, you are talking and you recognize you are talking. And you continue to talk, you still continue to communicate the same way, but with presence. Yeah. And then with other things, you do the same way. You know, for Chojaks, this practice of Chojaks. Do you know?
No.
You don't. It's very simple. It's not really you need to do something. It means like Chojak means living as it is. 4 ways of living as it is. In general, it's just one way of living as it is, but with 4 different kinds of situations. One situation is physical. You know, when we are doing something, we don't recognize we are doing this. We know, but we are absorbed into this action, like we are writing something or we are talking to someone, and we are all into that. Yeah. And then at this moment you recognize, oh, I'm into that. Okay. And you continue. You don't stop, oh, I need to enjoy my experience, my sudden illumination. No. You continue the same thing that you were involved into, but with presence. Yeah. And this is like for the body, this is Chojak of a mountain. Because it's not like you, some teachers are explaining it like, oh, you sit like a mountain, not moving in any kind of situation. But how Rinpoche was explaining that, it was not like that. It was explained like more or less any kind of a position is good. So the essence is whatever position you are in. But now, with all your tensions, so notice how you are sitting at the moment with all your tensions. Maybe it's not perfect, maybe it's not balanced, maybe it's not comfortable, but it's your position and it's fine. And you notice that. If you need to change, you change, no problem. If you really feel you need to change. But in general, you are in this position, it's okay. It's good, you don't need to change it, you leave it as it is. It doesn't mean that you have to stay forever in this position. But for this moment, you notice this is my position. Okay. It's okay. There is nothing wrong with it. So, and then the second Chojak, it can also be when you're walking, the same. You're walking, then you recognize you're walking, and then you continue walking. The same way you were walking before. You don't need to change anything. And also talking is the same thing. And this is like the first. And the second Chojak is, it's about perception. I mean, like you see light, you hear sounds, etc. And you notice a sound. Oh, okay. This sound, whatever. Then there is something else, light, or you see some shape, yeah, moving. Notice, moving, okay, yeah. Or you have a sensation in your body, like itching. Yeah, you can also scratch, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you stop and just observe your itching without scratching. You can scratch. Okay, itching and scratching at the same time. Or this is, it's about senses. Whatever is coming to our senses is fine. Yeah, we leave it as it is. It's not like that. It's painful, then immediately we try to reject it. No. But noticing what's happening. Yeah? And the next thing is thoughts. And basically, I already explained it with the example of a doubt. So we have a thought, oh, I'm not supposed to think this thought. Oh, okay, think this thought. Or I'm not supposed to experience this emotion like doubt or anger, etc. No. Feel this, experience this, without changing. It will change by itself. It will not take long for this emotion to change, but you are not trying to change it. And then you have some kind of vision, in general, your perception, your condition. Oh, samsara. Something like this. Okay. Yeah. Or like on smaller scale, you feel something goes wrong. You do business, you discover the situation, something goes wrong, and then you feel agitated. Okay, you feel something goes wrong, okay. That's okay. When something goes wrong, that's okay. You see? It doesn't mean you don't do anything, but you stop this panic. Yeah. But even you have panic, that's okay. You see?
That's really sounds like a Mahamudra.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. It's not different.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? And then maybe we will finish.
I haven't got a blue hand or anything, but
Yeah, Tony, please. Yeah.
yeah.
Can you turn on your camera?
No, I haven't got my teeth in at the moment.
Okay. Okay.
Like distraction, or like someone who can listen to two conversations at once, or when you're driving. I remember Namkhana Rinpoche said something about how you are sort of aware because otherwise you'd have an accident. So there's a lot of in distraction. You can be quite distracted while driving, talking, having a conversation, and then still. So and then that sort of like Gurdjieff used the term divided awareness, and so I just think that a lot of what I've got out of the course is really tasting, you know, the one presence, in a sense, the presence of some experience, or the present without, you know. So that seems to be the right track to go on, and so that's sort of all I've got to say, but it was just sort of a question. So if you're already aware a bit, what does that mean in terms of presence or something like that?
Well, there are two different kinds of presence. There is one which is called instant presence. This is something like when we discover our real nature. And there is an ordinary presence, when we are just present in whatever we are doing and whatever we are perceiving. We are just present. This is an ordinary presence. And we can develop this, we can learn this presence. And how Rinpoche was always saying that this is like a gate or window for instant presence to manifest. Because we cannot really kind of instigate instant presence. We cannot push for it, but we can leave space for it to arise. Yeah. So ordinary presence, when we are doing things with presence but relaxed way, I mean, there can be a muscular effort. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that we lack any effort whatsoever. No, we apply any effort. Even to say something, I need to make an effort. Yeah? Even to move my finger, I need to make an effort. Yeah? So this effort is okay, but it's not an effort in order to change the world, I mean. It's okay, it's just the hand is moving, lips are moving, you see, mind is moving. This kind of effort is okay. So we can also apply this effort relaxed way with presence. So we are relaxed and we are with presence. And then this famous instant presence, if we have discovered that, of course, if we are connected to that, if we have this experience, then it manifests by itself. If we are not connected, it means if we did not receive an introduction, but I don't mean the formal introduction, but introduction means that we know something, we discover. Not just we were present when somebody was introducing. No, that's not enough. Introduction means we were introduced and we recognize this true nature. And then with presence and being relaxed, we let this knowledge manifest by itself. Yeah. That's why it's called self-arising Rigpa. Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, not quite. I had got that before. It's more like when you just, is it distraction to be doing two things at once a bit, or, you know, not completely experiencing even what there's no one point of view. You can't even look for one mind because there's so much different things going on.
Yeah. Okay. So when you're doing two things together, it's not easy. Yeah. But make it one thing. I give you an example. Like, okay. Can you see me? Do you have a screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So follow the movement of my finger. It's not so difficult, no?
No.
Can you? No, it's not so difficult. Okay, now follow the movement of two of my fingers. Not so easy, no?
No, a bit more difficult.
Quiet, should be quiet, way more difficult. But then imagine that I have a stick between my two fingers. And now follow the movement of that stick or a string, yeah?
Oh, that's still difficult.
No, that should be easier if you do one thing. It's like you do like this, yeah? Like, for example, it's easy to follow the movement of this pen, no?
Now you put the object there, I'm doing it with my pen and it's easier, yeah.
Yeah, you see, but then you have imaginary pen instead. So imagine a connection between my two fingers.
Yeah.
And then it's easy to follow. Much easier. So in the same way, make two actions that you do one action. More complicated, but like one action. If you have a trouble doing two actions at the same moment, everyone does have trouble. So sometimes, usually, we put one action on autopilot and we do another thing. But this is like you relax and you let these two things integrate. Then you can learn. Then you can learn like very difficult, like rotating your arms in different directions. Yeah. Some people have trouble with that. Yeah. Now in this direction, I also have trouble. Didn't do it for a long time. Yeah, but this usually goes like this or like this, but like this, you know, rotating two different directions is like two different actions, but make it one action.
Yeah.
If you make it one action, just having two more aspects, then it becomes easier and you can maintain presence in that.
Okay, that's integrating.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So, Ilya, you want to say something?
No.
Ah, okay. So I think that we can stop at this point and make a kind of a conclusion. So we do Guru Yoga. And we can summarize for ourselves what we accumulated through this course. What we have accumulated, like some kind of knowledge and skills we could have accumulated during this course. And I feel good, no, about this. It gives appreciation and it can be gratitude, etc. And we feel good. And then we make a wish that all we accumulated concretely becomes a cause for the benefit of all beings. And then we empower this with mantra. Om Dare Dare Ben Dare Swaha Jaya Jaya Siddhi Hala Hala Ahasha Sama Mama Golim Sameta.
Thank you, Igor. Very precious course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Igor.
Igor. Have a nice day.
Спасибо, Игорь.
Bye.
So I want to say something. I'm still planning to make a kind of a retreat for Christmas time, 25, 26, 27, with 2 sessions a day. So I hope I can prepare it during this coming week. And then if everything is okay, I will announce and I will let you know. So we can meet, and I want to do it about emotions, how we treat emotions in Dzogchen teaching, because we have some materials, interesting materials in Kuntu San Poemon Lam. It's talking about emotions, this invocation of Samantabhadra or inspiration of Samantabhadra. Then another text is a very nice text by Shapkar, The Flight of Garuda, explains very essentially. Then also we have a practice of dealing with emotions like internal Rushan and also secret Rushan of mind, and also some interesting things in Dzogchen Tantras, things about emotions. So I hope that I will have time to prepare to put all these things together and prepare a nice program, and then there will be no obstacles for that. So then it's gonna be in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much,
you.
my dear
Thank you.
Igor. It was really.
Thank you.